The Kraken and the Captain. A guide to setting sail and what to look out for. Written for new captains on their first voyages away from safe harbours into uncertain waters. Love, Ben. The Kraken and the Captain. Copyright 2023 by Ben Hosking. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form or by any means, including photocopying, recording, or other electronic or mechanical methods, without the prior written permission of the publisher, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical reviews and certain other non-commercial uses permitted by copyright law. For permission requests, contact the publisher, Queensland, Australia. Chapter 1. Before you set sail. It's time you found out the truth. You are a hero. It is imperative you know this story starts out with you at the center, ready and able. I believe in you. I always have, and I always will. The decisions you make are right, good, and just. You are not just a hero. You are the hero. The hero of your own story. The only story that counts. Heroes, of whom we have established that you are definitely one of, are known because they overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. That is their role in this life. They are the inspiration, the muse, the guiding light behind people breaking free of the chains that bind them. By taking one more step, by choosing to climb the mountain, to face your demons, or by setting sail and traveling to far off, distant lands, to start something new, you are immediately catapulted into the highest category of human. Heroes are brave. Brave because they are the ones who will take action in the face of danger, and not in the absence of fear, but in spite of that very fear they are experiencing. These same heroes will act and commit themselves to the cause in order to be the someone shining a light through the darkness and acting as a beacon of hope for those other souls too timid and meek to strike out in the dark. When you break free of the comfortable and set sail into the unknown, you are becoming an explorer. You are turning into an adventurer, brave like the warriors of times gone by. You are filled with an ancient, endless wellspring of power, vigor, and energy. It won't be easy, and it will test you beyond your measure. Yet, that is what life is for, to experience growth and to learn about new things that seem foreign to what you might understand or know. In doing so, you are preparing a new world for the people that will walk with you and after you. Be they your own children, brothers, sisters, aunties or uncles, whatever and whoever they might be, you are helping them, dear hero. So before you set sail, know this. You are already a hero for deciding to. You embody courage, and I will forever be proud of you for that. Chapter 2. Be prepared. Sort out your backpack. You need supplies to get where you're going. You may be a hero and the captain of your new ship about to set sail, but you are no fool, and you know what you will need to ensure success is a well-prepared plan. That's why you've decided to launch, because you've finally figured it out. You have to sail your own ship and not somebody else's. Planning is what will set your preparation up for success. The first rule, number 1, pack light. If you're bringing all of your baggage from the past, then you may as well not leave. It's time for growth, dear hero, and that means jettisoning away old comforts. Don't worry though, even if you are scared that you'll not find something as good at first that you may have had before, hold on, have faith, trust in life, and the supplies you need will turn up. Bring some, but only just enough of what you've had before. You can make do, and know this: necessity breeds ingenuity and creativity, two of your innermost powerful traits. 2. Think it through. But what you need it in the right places. All your lessons and luggage have to be stored and sorted in such a way that you can get to them when you need them. It's no good packing socks at the bottom of your bag if you're going to need them in the morning tomorrow. You need to somewhat anticipate the turns you'll take so that you're prepared. Of course, you can't plan for everything, but you can be prepared. So, get your socks on top and get the things you'll likely need first ready. If you're expecting some trouble ahead, be prepared with some sort of support. Build your network and know what that looks like. Think, is it calling ahead to have things that you'll need ready at the other end? Or perhaps pre-arranging your storage so that you can get what's needed quickly. Sorting your backpack for just now is great, but you need to think it through, and that means planning ahead, organizing supplies, and being ready for when you might run out. Take time to ask for support. I know this shouldn't seem like a rule, but it's number 3. Guidance and helping get your backpack sorted has infinite benefits. There is no shame ever in getting someone who is wiser and more experienced to check your rig and packing. People love to help. Friends, relatives, even strangers. Indeed, a surefire way to make friends is to ask them, those other people, for their help. It shows that you value their opinion and their input. Perhaps you might get some bum drum or bad advice here and there, but you'll also learn from that as well, and you'll quickly figure out who is good and who is less so. Number 4. Don't be afraid if you haven't packed everything you need. Thinking this is similar to dwelling on a dark thought. Hoping you'll get everything perfect is outrageous. It's the world after all, and you're a new captain. Things are uncertain, and there are a million different possibilities that could go wrong, or more likely, go right. Each is an opportunity to learn, and there are infinite resources out there. And I know you are clever enough to find them, especially when you broaden your horizons and look beyond where you've searched before. Dear Captain, remember, new problems require new solutions. Be prepared to work hard, because when the going is tough, you will need to dig deeper and deeper until it will feel as though there is nothing left in the tank. That, dear Captain, is the feeling of exhaustion. And from your exhaustion, you will get learning. When things are easy, you can coast along, but real growth comes from the hardest fought battles. Then, and only then, must you choose to take one more step out of sheer force of will. And suddenly, that light that you've been searching for will shine through and illuminate what you're looking at. Keep in mind, Captain, you've set out on a journey, and you are no candle in the wind. You are the solar in the system. You are the water in the waves, and your only limit is your imagination. Number 5. Be careful not to fall foul of your own ego. Believe that what you know is all there is to know? That's your bias and your limited knowledge seeping through as a defensive mind, proud of what it knows, but ignorant totally of what it doesn't, is sometimes the biggest risk posed to a new captain. The mind that doesn't want to accept it can be proven wrong is always right, even when it's wrong. So always, always, always be curious, not defensive, for you only know what you know, and anything else is the debt of ignorance that you are charged with paying off through learning as you embrace the lessons that you experience. Chapter 3. Deciding on a course. Aim high, someplace fantastic. Everyone has somewhere they want to go, something they want to see. This is going to be your chance to experience firsthand the very real opportunity of planning where you end up. And, excitingly, without anyone else's guidance. Your first grid reference and location that you end up doesn't have to be perfect. Why? Because every ship that ever left the harbor had to readjust along the way. They had to readjust to all the waves, the wind, and the water that sent these ships drifting slightly off course. Spend minimal time fretting that your first steps might not be perfect. It can be the most amazing and beautiful experience to find out you weren't going in the right direction after all. It means that now you get to do something new. How you frame it is how it feels. At first, it may seem slightly at odds with who and where you are trying to be and go. Yet, the way you perceive or choose to perceive this forced variation can be what makes an unexpected experience go from bad to good. Serendipity only becomes more apparent the longer you steer the ship. Explore, inquire, and entertain as many ideas, possibilities, and options available. You can be boring later if you want. Right now, if you see something that is exciting or amazing, look into it. The past is behind you and the future is uncertain. So right now is a gift for you to enjoy. That's why it's called the present. Remember, some presents come wrapped a little more than others and will require a fair degree more effort to open. those ones are usually the best. Be inspired by the chance to dig deeper, travel further, and work harder to find, unearth, and expose that amazing gift. It could very well change your world. Curiosity is the cure. It scratches that itch. It settles that fear of not knowing. It is the home of the answer you seek. Be hungry, ask questions, and search. Not all maps are accurate. Not all directions will translate well. This is why course correcting is so important. Regardless of the advice you receive or the directions people give you, you have to remain honest with yourself. You must tell yourself the truth. Think about it. What worked and what didn't? Were you choosing something that felt easy and comfortable? Is that perhaps the reason the map didn't translate to the course? Because deep down inside, you knew you weren't putting in enough effort. Trust me, you'll know what I mean when it happens. You'll need to be ruthless to get it right. And sometimes that means cutting away bad habits, getting rid of poor shipmates, removing some of those old things you put in your backpack, and redoubling your efforts in a new direction. Be brave. Everyone has and will go through this in their life. What you defeat can define you for the better. Most importantly of all, mark your own charts, plot your own course, seek your own future. It will be addictively tempting to copy the path others take and follow how they got from port to port before you. Because if it's safe, it's appealing. Because comfort will kill you slowly. So, when you get from A to B without sinking or having to turn back, you will feel that sense of satisfaction and comfort with your so-called success. In fact, most of the time, it's completely harmless, and you'll be able to captain your ship more easily when you follow the other captains blindly. And yet, it might, just maybe, perhaps, be worth pausing from time to time to think about this. Because if you're always following others, reading their charts, and not sticking to your own course, you need to know, will you ever be certain to live your own life? It may mean you have to navigate around new and difficult obstacles, or even that you have to get around old obstacles that the other captains before you have already dealt with. That's good though. Frustrating, yes, I know. And yet, now you are at least as experienced as those other captains for having had to learn how to sail those same seas. And you can now take on more than you could before. However, you're always enjoying smooth sailing and being led by others without the risk of having to learn for yourself, then you might be destined for a miserable, slow, and comfortable death. A waste of a life unlived, an adventure unknown. Yuck, yuck, yuck. New, novel, and original captains know no boundaries. Accept no limits of any other captains. Live your own life. Chapter 4. It's time to launch. Cast off with courage. To cast off and sail free of the dock is to make your own way in the world, and it takes a new type of emotional courage. A type perhaps that you may never have had cause to use. Take a moment. There is no rush. This will be an infinite journey. Pause for just a while and embrace the ocean as you breathe in. Try a count of 6 slow seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then fill the sails as you breathe out slowly. Repeat it another 5 times. After all these years of training, learning, planning, and preparing, you are finally about to cast off. Enjoy the moment. There are not many like this in life. This is the last chance to check the rigging, ensure your backpack is prepared properly, that your charts are sorted and your course is correct. Take stock. Did you forget something? Trust me, everyone's got that feeling. No matter how much you slow down your breathing, now it comes down to discipline. So check the rigging and then check it again and again. Not just a cursory check either. You're setting sail, don't you know? This is the real world now, and it's serious out there. You're up for an adventure where you might be alone for a while, so best get in the reps of doing what's required now. Be prepared, dear hero. Take a second while you've got it. Have a look at yourself. Inspect ruthlessly from an outsider's perspective what you're wearing and how you're acting. Think about the way you carry yourself. What do you look like? What do you seem like? What do you sound like? When you look, what do you see and what will others see? You've got about 2.5 seconds to make a good impression at sea. When you launch this ship on your voyage into the ocean and the unknown, get it right. Do everything you can to prepare and impress upon those other sailors that you meet that you are in fact the real deal. You'll be amazed at how helpful they'll become. It might not be right now you need them, but later on, I guarantee their value. You're almost ready to launch. It gets scarier now because it's almost time to cast off those old ropes, or you'll never break free of your home port. Now there is a battle raging between your ears of not knowing whether you'll succeed and what will happen if you do fail. But here's the hot tip. You've got a big old engine in that boat, and if the wind goes out and your sails fall flat, you'll always be able to start the engine and get motoring. In time, you might just run out of fuel and feel as though you've got nothing left, especially if the sails still aren't full. But it's not over till it's over, dear hero. So get your oars out and start rowing, because you're no quitter. And if an oar should break off and all you're left with is a single paddle, don't fret. Dive in. Get behind the ship and start kicking your little feet. After all, you're the hero now, no one else. Some direction is better than none at all. So if all else fails, send up a distress beacon. There's never, ever any harm in asking for help. The ocean is full of beautiful souls, prepared to help those captains out there that are giving it their all. Just like if you're caught in quicksand, sometimes someone can throw you a rope. There is no harm in having to return home for repairs. Every now and then you have to redo the anti-foul. It's normal. It can be absolutely necessary to rejig your sails, to put on another layer of paint, to recalibrate your compass. Never, ever be ashamed of having to turn around or start again. In doing so, there are lessons to be learned about how we overcome mistakes and how we grow into even greater captains. Remember it well. Even the greatest sailors in the world dream about returning to their beloved home ports and seeing their family. Although they might dream about finding new lands more, they also dream about returning with their triumphant glory and new story. As will you, Captain. Go, hero. Now, cast off the ropes. It's time to set sail. Chapter 5. So begins this majestic journey. Setting sail. The wind is up. Your sails are full. The ocean's roaring past, cheering you on. You've done it. 1. The course is confirmed. You are in motion now, and you're the captain, baby. How wonderful it feels. 2. Check the rigging again. It never hurts to be certain. 3. Thank the wind, the water, and the waves. Be grateful every day. It is the most beautiful. 3. Thank the wind, the water, and the waves. Be grateful every day. It's the most beautiful feeling to be set free on an adventure of your own. You are doing now what many will never experience. Pushing yourself close to the edge, living life at the outer limits of its opportunity. Careful, though, as you sail off into the great unknown, that you avoid comparing your journey to any others. Sometimes it'll feel as though you have been sailing for eons and are the most experienced captain on the ocean. Then, suddenly, you'll have a vessel of blinding light with sails full, skimming across the water as though it is almost kissed and carried by a cloud above the surface of the waves, and you'll be left wondering to yourself, how is it that another captain can be so much better than I? How come I cannot get it as right as them? What am I doing wrong? Trust me, these are all natural questions. Self-doubt afflicts every sailor known. Discipline of the mind and body is what will drive you on, though. Don't dwell. While these questions are important ones, as they develop your own drive to improve your position as a captain and your ship's capabilities, avoid at all costs comparing your sails to theirs. For no captain sails upon the ocean, and no ship has sailed over the same seas as any other at any time in all of the histories. Each captain is a new captain. Each ship is its own vessel full of life and love. And the pairing upon this great adventure is to be lived in the moment, not dwelling on what may or may not be. You're not in competition with any other captain that goes, for better or for worse. Stay true to your own course. Dwell not on the other ships, their courses, their captains or their crew that you might meet upon the deck. Stay true to your own values. Remember, you are the hero in your story, the only one you get to write in the pages of. So make your words count for you, not someone else. Beware the danger of dwelling, for we know what dwells in the deep, and it is not by chance the act of doing, it is the unseen decay in the lack of action. It is the fear which is the silent death of hope, the decision destroyer, freezing all action. It is the condemner of life and the eraser of options. The Kraken. The Kraken. It waits in the deep of your thoughts as you dwell on negative and anxious things. This monster is fueled by the energy of your doubt. Hold strong, hero. You will do it. You are doing it. Don't look back. Look up and live. Hold on to hope. Breathe. Don't dwell. And crack on, lest the Kraken gets you. This is your life underway. The ropes are cast off and you are free and at sea. Go, hero. Chapter 6. Fill your sails and get after it, Captain. There is a certain feeling you'll get from the moment you look up and see your sails full of wind, and it will stay with you for a lifetime. The sense of accomplishment is a tingling delight of joy and exhilaration akin to a first kiss. It's a feeling so rare in life, you'll want it to last forever. And the next time you feel like this, you'll understand even more deeply that sense of wonderment. The faster you go, my dear Captain, the bigger the bow waves of your ship. The more water you move, the further and harder you are sailing. Which means, keep this in mind, the more you'll rock the other boats around you. Be considerate. Be cautious. Not everyone can handle your bow wave, and not everyone will cheer for your full sails. Some may even throw stones to try and slow you down. Here is a cautionary word of warning. Some of those you rock the most will be the ones you thought were most closest to you. But are they the ocean, those who throw rocks? Are they the wind, those who curse your name? Can they control your speed, those other sailors not aboard your ship? Even if someone should succeed in knocking the wind out of your sails, can they stop you from regrouping and gathering your wits? No. Captain, only you can stop yourself. You are the one that controls your dreams. Your ideas will die only when you let them. If you wish to keep sailing, then do so, and pay those other jealous and wobbly sea dogs no heed. For if they are threatened by your glory, your prowess, and your ability to sail when they are in a moment of still, let them be. It can be more important for you to let other captains' ideas of who you are drown than it is to keep them on side. So if their idea of you must die for you to become your own captain, let it happen. Yet, and this is where humility matters, there is no need to shout at them or tell them how big and fast you are. They'll feel it. through the presence of the wake you leave as you sail. You are the captain of your ship. Let others know it by the demonstration of your skill and tenacity, not the crowing of your voice or the size of your sail. Show it by consistently, skillfully sailing across the seas. Be silent and private in your success and your speed. No other sailor alive appreciates a boisterous show-off who speaks of their success at the misery of others. Every good sailor can recognize a great captain who looks after their crew and gets from port to port safely and speedily with modesty. If you do think to speak of your success, do so in a way to lift others up. Be the hero spoken of softly by those at the back of the room. Oh, look, there goes Captain So-and-so. Did you know they are one of the best? Their crew love them. The sea bends to their will. I wish I were a captain like that. Chapter 7. Big waves are always over the horizon. They are coming, regardless of whether you are ready or not. Plan for the inevitable by having your ship rigged and ready to endure the big waves. This is what being prepared is all about. These waves will be exciting and terrifying at the same time. Big waves can block out the sun. They can completely screw up any direction you had. But I guarantee you, on the other side of the wave, you and your ship's crew will be bigger, better, and braver sailors, ready to tackle more and more of whatever life and the ocean throws at you. Remember, your preparation arms you for when you lack experience. It is right to be humble, though. Big waves come in good and bad fashion. Sometimes they'll swamp you so badly that you'll end up completely underwater. Almost unable to surface. Remember, your skin is waterproof and your boat floats. So long as you have prepared for the big bad waves, you can ride them out. It's a matter of staying the course and keeping on in order to break through the swell and catch your breath. Captain, you're a hero and you're here now. No one else will steer this ship for you. Breathe, relax, focus, and act. Show that your preparations were not for naught. And keep in mind, as there is dark, there must also be light. When you crest those darkest of waves, you'll often be looking back from the top of the wave, wondering how it ever seemed so dark in all this glorious light. Riding the face of the wave all the way to this calmer future, feeling the winds of success as though dark times have never been. But take time to remember, record, and reflect. A good captain makes use of all the lessons they live through for the next time around. They see it coming earlier and they handle it easier because they've reflected and leveled up. They also share their knowledge more openly and with other captains, so they too might learn a little like what you're doing now. In times of good wind, waves, and sailing, make notes and learn from your past experiences. You've got a story to tell, and when you get home, someone will want to know the details. You might not know why, who, or when, but journaling has the added benefit of calming the tempest in your mind. Even the wildest storms can be calmed with the retelling of a story. Little waves can be deceiving. Chapter 8. Little waves can be deceiving. More often than not, while you're breaking the peaks of those little waves, beware. They're more dangerous than you might realize. The danger is in the apparent safety. You'd think by now that having dealt with the big stuff, you wouldn't have to sweat the swells that bump up against your hulls like the little ripples that you're feeling. But there is an insidious danger in the apparent nothingness of the windless water washing against your ship. The danger lies in you, inside your relaxed attitude, lack of awareness, or depth of concern. Water erodes granite over 1,000 years like it was nothing. If you don't manage the ship's maintenance and check in on what repairs are needed while on the go, then you'll soon find the anti-foul has rubbed off. The lines are frayed and the ship is in no condition to continue. As it is for the ship, so it is for your body, your only body. Pay attention now, Captain. Think about how you treat your body. Are you looking after it? Are you giving it the nutritious food that it needs? Are you spending time meditating and breathing to clear your mind, which, might I add, is your ultimate muscle? Are you flexing, stretching, straining and training your body to keep it ship-shape and ready? You can't arrive at the destination if you can't last the voyage. You're a captain, and a captain is responsible. You'll be no one's hero if the little waves wear away your resolve and you never reach your destination. Stay focused, even when it seems like there's nothing to worry about. That's where being overly comfortable lurks. And if there is anything more dangerous than being off course, it's being comfortable. Be ready always. There might be someone important out there at any moment who may need your help. You might need to toss them a lifebuoy or dive in and swim out to them in deep green oceans. It's not all about you. Be ready, be prepared, do the work. Complacency and mindless comfort are real threats when you sail over little waves. Chapter 9. The first battle you never knew you needed. While you are at sea, you are not just a sailor. You are the captain of a crew. You are a leader, and you are countryman and community to your fellow sailors. You are a navigator in a vast and open ocean in which you won't always get it right, but you need to fight for what you believe is right. Such is your responsibility as a seafarer to keep the passages open, free and navigable for all those who would have a chance to become a new sailor such as you. When you cast off the dock all that way back when, you didn't just inherit the ocean's joys, you got the responsibilities too. The joy of liberty comes with the price of protecting it. Not all the sea lanes in the ocean are safe, and there will be more than one or two passages where you'll sail along coastlines, through channels, or around small islands and archipelagos that will test your mettle. I don't just mean the mettle of your cutlass against pirates and brigands, but also the strength of your sails to hold speed and escape the ravenous raiders as they give chase for your treasure, or the rigidity of the ropes holding your vessel together as it weathers the pressure of the weather endured. In the open oceans of life, where you thought the waves were your greatest threats, you quickly see the creatures your mummy sang to you of when you were but a wee sea dog in her cot back home are more than real. Mottled and mouldy, foul on the surface, with a moss like a slime between your fingers. Their sharp, scraping, cutting, jagged edges of rusted on barnacles and broken, rotted masts lodged deep in their ancient corpse like masses. You now face the Kraken. So ancient it is the beast your family has feared for generations. It is in the annals of history, terrorizing all those who failed to pay heed to the lessons of those before them. It speaks to your mind before you are even able to see it with the power of the pressure from down deep. Dwelling in your thoughts, striking fear into your heart and removing your power to move. Act now, Captain, for it is upon you. Learn this most important of lessons and learn it now. To have courage is not to be absolved of fear, but to act in spite of it and conquer with action. The Kraken. What you do now is what many a sailor has used for centuries before you, all of whom have done battle with the Kraken, and they, like you, who lacked experience, relied on their training and preparation. To strike back at the Kraken, you lash out with your harshest of words, cast like spells of old, and thrown downwind with such haste and hate as to be more powerful than the explosion of the loudest lightning in the squall, and strike with your spear at the heart of the Kraken, with a force of violence so enraged as to make the beast feel as though it's been struck clear away by a wave of tidal volume. And as fast as it came, it is gone. Your first battle is over. It's been defeated. Who, you might ask, has been defeated? Who knows? But the battle is done, and it is time to move on. To learn from this, you must reflect upon it, of which there is time aplenty now. With the Kraken sinking from sight, you'll always question its return. Stay vigilant. Chapter 10. Peaks and Troughs. There is no up without down, and no action without reaction. While you make your way across the ocean, understand you'll meet with natural peaks and troughs all the way. It is in these times that you will need the most discipline. A little like little waves. At the peaks, you may become overexcited and make more At the peaks, you may become overexcited and make poor decisions out of haste. Decisions that don't align with the course you've set or with the kind of captain you wish to be. You'll be eager to jump ahead in life, but being forewarned is now being forearmed. You should know that ships don't jump. They glide. They glide from one harbor to the next, across the seas, across the waves, across the oceans. There are no shortcuts from where you are to where you wish to be. You may only increase your speed and reduce the resistance in the waves. If at the peak of the wave you see something that seems too good to be true, you might feel as though you can launch your ship to soar over the waves, clear of the water, jumping from this destination to the next. Be wary, be cautious, and return to the lessons you've learned. Speak to other captains and heed their counsel. Pick the ones you trust. Their insights will guide you true. In order to right your course and avoid the folly of a fool's gold and possibly being caught in a wave so big you will never see the end of it. Life has them, those kinds of waves, the ones that people don't like to discuss because they're afraid. They are real, these terrifying waves. The ones when mentioned make the room go quiet out of respect. They are real. These terrifying waves, the ones when mentioned, make the room go quiet out of respect. It's true. Some captains don't make it home to a safe harbor. The ocean gathers up their souls. Adventures and their heroes can quickly come undone if they're not a little cautious. Take care. Be wary of those wave jumpers, for their deceit knows no bounds. Their sole aim is to entangle you in their nets of lies and take what they covet most, your soul. At the bottom of the troughs in the waves, there is even more need for more discipline. Because down in the depths of the dark and dim deluge, you may feel there will be no wind, and that will ever haunt you. The lack of a sail kissed by the touch of a wind. No amount of rowing will allow you to explore, and no increase in the volume or fervor of your pleas to the gods of the wind and the waves will be heard. Know this, though. Every ship has its moments of stillness. Often they come about after a peak of which you might not see coming. And it may have more impact on your ship than you are prepared to admit. It is now when your discipline, your strength of mind, and the resolution you possess as a captain will get you through. Peace begins when expectations end. It may feel good to moan and gripe, to flap your sails hoping to catch a breeze, to bear a grudge or recklessly blame anyone but yourself. Yet, deep down, you'll know. And to passers-by, you'll look as though you're being active when you're actually just being busy, avoiding the necessary patience and work to take ownership of what is needed in order to wait out, work through this trough, and focus on the course ahead. Now is the time to review your course. Now is the time to set the rigging. Now is the time, Captain, to go about being your own salvation. You might ask, what is the difference between busy and active? Well, busy puts off the preparation needed to succeed when you do become active. When you're in the darkest hour, there isn't a need to be busy. You need to be calm. in order to prepare and be ready for when you are once again able to be active. Chapter 11. Open oceans are the entirety of life and not its meaning. It's a long way from nowhere to get where you're going. Plan it out. Without a destination in mind, you might just arrive. And that is terrifying. Without a goal or end in mind, you could journey across the world not knowing when, where, or who you are meant to be. Real horror, they say, is meeting the person you were supposed to be while still being the captain you are today. Never rest on your laurels, hero. Lean in. There is no limit for you out there, only opportunity. Your imagination is the limit of how far you can soar across the skies. Like the clouds above the ocean, and your work ethic, prepare and position yourself to be ready to engage in all the opportunities ahead. Your discipline, your drive will help you do the hard things and complete the necessary steps you may prefer not to do. These qualities will help you to travel across the expansive ocean of seemingly endless possibilities and reach that which you have your heart's desire set on. Your course has as much to do with where you end up as it does with the islands of excitement you find along the way. Whilst underway on this incredible voyage, take a moment to stop from time to time and enjoy the sights and the sounds you get to see, especially the ones you might not have sought out, but they come your way anyway. There is much to be seen. It doesn't all have to be settled on, taken on board, or absorbed into your life. Taken on board or absorbed into your life, you are free to enjoy it for a fleeting moment and let it go with the wind and the waves. Much on the ocean will wash over the bow of your ship, if even only for a moment. And these fleeting moments can create some of the most peaceful, happy, and joyous memories you never knew you'd encounter or even might have wanted, and yet you may just relish them forever. Embrace the unknown, accept the uncertainty, and enjoy the unpredictable. Chapter 12. Batten down the hatches. A storm is coming. In an emergency, urgent and decisive action can mean the difference between success and your ship sinking. When the time comes, you might not know it at first, but when it does arrive and you've cottoned on, move with a sense of purpose. Avoiding action in the hope that the storm will pass can lead to misfortune of epic proportions. If you are caught in a storm, do your best to save what you can. Muster all of your courage and face the storm. Do what is required without a second thought. You're here now, and it's about surviving, not thriving. As the dark clouds begin to circle, so too will your need for speed and specific action. Focus on what matters most for getting to the other side of this fight. Not necessarily with the best outcomes, but with enough to get you going again. The great poet Shakespeare wrote so well. Fate whispered to the warrior, "You cannot withstand the storm." And the warrior whispered back, "I am the storm. So, be the storm you need to be to survive the darkness, and know that it is always darkest before the light breaks. Keep going. You've got this, hero. Go. Chapter 15. Finding a port in a storm. You battened your hatches in a hell of a storm, but you never stopped. You knew there was more ahead, and it's this thinking that will see you succeed in life. Knowing you need to keep moving even in the darkest hour. The definition of your success as a captain can be described and defined by the challenges you faced and survived. These not only grow you as the hero in this story, but they equip you with the invaluable lessons and learnings. When the challenge you face seems to be beyond your capacity, it may lead to the realization that you need an upgrade, that it's time to retrofit your ship and improve the way you see, sense, handle, and deal with the open ocean. While weathering the oncoming storm tests your limits, you're also actively learning. Such challenges reveal what more you need in order to navigate to your next destination. Use this forced redirection as the guide that it is. Have the grace to accept what you cannot change and the strength to confront that which you can. Consider what let you down with your ability to handle the last storm and forced you to harbor up, and what can you do now to prepare for the future? Do you need to spend more time reading the maps and the charts, learning about the weather patterns, or understanding the climate and where you are going? Educate yourself, whether through tutoring from others or through your own means. Find what matters and drink that knowledge in. Go back over your experience with ruthless honesty and humility. Take ownership of what's next, as you did when it was time to batten down the hatches and keep moving. Do not re-enter that storm until you're ready, or you are destined to make the same mistakes again and again. All good captains continue to grow. All good heroes realize they must improve in order to battle their demons and achieve their ultimate goals. Ask yourself, what demon do you truly need to face down, Captain? Chapter 14. Anchoring down. Never waste a moment. The only shame in not anchoring down for a time is the shame you will feel when you look back and realize how much time you wasted between being busy versus being active. You have figured it out, and the time has come. Prepare for a full overhaul. You are replacing the sails, upgrading the engine, taking out the oars, and putting in a secondary motor to help with the original one you've upgraded. What you were as a captain was good enough until now. Good enough, you've realized, is what truly stands in the way of being great. And for you, hero, there is no longer good enough. There can be only greatness. Take stock of what will bring about true improvements. Don't get distracted, and keep on course towards your chosen destination. Make sure where you spend your time and attention is on value and aligns with who and what sort of future you want to sail into. This time working on improvements doesn't have to be seen as wasted away from the course. I know you want to be sailing, but it can be the most valuable opportunity to upgrade who and what you are. Remember those wave jumpers? You knew then and you know now they were full, and they are full, of falsity. You're starting to figure out that by anchoring down and focusing, you are giving yourself the opportunity to improve your ship and yourself. You can create less drag and improve efficiency through the water by reducing resistance and decreasing the time it takes to get from port to port. It's no small thing to have earned this wisdom. After all, you got here by surviving the storm, by battening down the hatches, by keeping on in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. You are learning, hero. Even if it feels like it's taking you nowhere, you're growing. Chapter 15. Care for your crew. Of all the dangers you might face, a bad crew is one of the most serious. Pay particular attention to who crews your ship and joins you on your adventure. As you get going, you will be surrounded by crewmates who want to sail with you, and it will be amazing and glorious to have such a strong band of brothers and sisters who want your attention and want to share in your adventure. But here is the caution you must consider. Not all sailors on the ship are equal. Some expect more than they give. Not all sailors want to go in the same direction. Yet, they will be happy to tell you how you should get there. Not all sailors will tell you the wind is blowing up a gale when it is only but a gust. Expect chaos weavers to distort reality with their wily ways. Not all sailors will pull tight the rigging as hard as you might. Few will be of firm heart like you. Not all sailors will face up to the storm like you might expect of them. There are those meek and timid souls who will abandon ship. Who you choose to spend time with will directly impact how far you go on your journey. How often you might have to batten down the hatches, and whether you'll end up in a port you didn't expect to arrive in. You are the captain of your life, of your ship, of your journey. Never concede your ambitions of arriving where you want to solely in order to pacify or appease a crew member who is not aligned with you. There are as many crew for your ship as there are fish in the sea. Set the course you wish to travel and protect with ruthless vigor those charts of yours, for they determine your boundaries and also your course in life. Have faith and believe that most people are good. Treat them the way you wish to be treated. But if you see anything slightly resembling mutiny, act fast, act firm, act fair, and remove the cancer from the deck as you would from the wood, or else the ship might rot from the inside out. It will seem harsh at first, but it is as fair to them as it is to you. No one wants to be on a rotten ship. Chapter 16. Back for another bite. At first, it seems beyond belief to have such power reach up and grasp you, to feel the awesome might and force wrought against the hull of your vessel. So soon after surviving the storm, to find yourself struck with so massive a force. Yet, here it is, without any fanfare, warning, or reason, crushing your sides, splintering your hull, tearing down your sails, and snapping the guide ropes, splitting your mast. The overwhelming feeling of loss and defeat. There's no way it could have come back this strong. But you know, deep within your heart and your soul, there are no harsh words cast or spears thrust that might defeat a beast of this magnitude. It's learnt from its past battles with you and come back with a ferocity and passion unlike any terror you have felt or experienced before, as though it knows you more intimately than even you yourself. What is even harder to fathom is the weapons of old you once used to defend yourself are now embedded deep into the monster's arsenal as it uses them against you. How? How can this be the case? This is no ordinary beast. This Leviathan is of scale that will require more than one brave hero to defeat it. In this moment, as time stands still, and you feel your heart pounding as it rails against the walls of your chest, and you taste the iron in your breathing as your body labors to keep you going, do you realize that your only hope of moving forward on this adventure is to enlist the help of those fellow crew and ocean-going sailors you've met along the way? The ones you broke bread with, shared rum with, and retold stories with whilst anchored at harbour. It is clear that for all the time you had at sea, there was more to those chance encounters than you might have been able to know at the time. It is now in this very moment that you come to fully understand it is only with coordinated effort that a Kraken of this gargantuan size may be defeated. To do so is beyond a single sailor's strength. You must now hold counsel with those with who you have worked, met and learned from, lived with, loved, and perhaps let go of. You must formulate your plans to tackle this beast beyond reason in a way that leaves some hope of survival for all those who might come to your aid. And to do so must be done with communication where more than one captain can talk and more than one captain is heard, in such a way that all who contribute have their opinions heard. With your plan for battle discussed, designed, and drawn up, you are ready. It is time for the fight of your life. Sadly, not everyone will walk away from every battle without some scars. This is one of the most important lessons left for you to learn, Captain. There will be battles like this throughout time that cause real change to all who they touch. They will alter who you are for better and for worse. The Kraken is beyond reason. It exists to challenge the sailor when they are off course. And whether you think you are the greatest navigator on the ocean or not, the Kraken will find you regardless, and often when you least expect the beast to be upon you. Even with the help of the other sailors around you, you only just defeat the Kraken. But the damage you've sustained has been so drastic to your ship, there may be no saving it alone. It is time you worked with others, others who will help you repair your ship, others who will guide you on your path, and others who can train you and prepare you for the confrontations like this which you may face again in the future. For no Kraken is ever truly defeated. They are only ever dismissed for a while. This engagement must be done for the betterment of the ocean, for the betterment of yourself, your crew, your fellow old salts, and for the chance to keep helping any other new sailors as they cast off from their home ports to find out about the world. You will have to work with many people along the way. No voyage can be done alone. One day it will be your duty to return this favor and help others when they face a mighty Kraken for which they cannot defeat alone. Stand firm, hero. That is your part in this world. Chapter 17. Now is the time to level up. Without the help of those around you, you might have figured it out. But then, your ship could only last you so long, and you may not have anyway. The lessons you have sought out after such a battle cannot help but be felt for more than a moment. The time has come to realize that this ship, in this harbor, in this life you're living, might have a limit. There is no shame or sadness in recognizing the pain placed on you by the limit of this ship. It is a reality now. When once you thought it was all that it existed, it is time for change. Not all of life's adventures look, sound, and feel the same, nor are they experienced from the deck of the same ship. You will know when it is time to make the change. Otherwise, the Kraken will be waiting there again. The best advice you might hear is to leave before you're forced to walk the plank or that damned beast comes back for you. Make your new adventure one of your choice. Where you can, and where you can't, then learn to accept and let go of that which you have no control over. Embrace the length of time you sail as the captain of your vessel. Also, take a moment to enjoy the times where you might get to crew for others and help with a shared mission or passage across the seas. When the time comes, just as you did so within the storm, begin to move with purpose and urgency. Act on your realization and step off the deck onto the jetty and move towards the new ship, the new voyage, and the new crew that you will work with to explore the world onwards. There are so many, if not endless, parts of this wide world that you can go to, and each has an unlimited array of people who will want to teach you, learn from you, work with you, love you, guide you, listen to you, and live with you. All of this adds up to the sum total of how you will experience life, hero. Charge on and be fearless when the ship you've known so well gives you the signal to let go. Be not afraid, for it is the same now as it was when you prepared to set sail all that time ago, and you must give up some comforts in order to see the waves of your next adventure. Be excited, be curious, not defensive. Chapter 18. The Endless Voyage. Go and do not stop. There is no more need for a guide anymore. as you know the way. Things will never again be the way they were for you. Where you've been will never exist in the way it once did. You will never be the same as you once were, for as the waves are always washing a new pattern on the beach, so too are you like the sand which is always changing in its appearance. Enjoy what you now know. Take great pride in who you've become and the story you've lived. You have always been a fine captain and a humble hero. You've carried yourself with concern, empathy, care, and kindness when dealing with other seagoers. You've treated others in the way you wished to be treated, and for that, there can be no greater honor than to know you've lived a good and just life full of honesty, integrity, and joy. You can be proud. Chapter 19. Begin with the end in mind. You are on your way now, and there is no stopping you. The course is set, the voyage is ahead, and the stories are to come. They will be legendary, as will you. You may never get where you want to go, but then you may never get to where you thought you were going. But then you very well might. You have only one thing in your control, though, during this entire journey, and that is ultimately how you interpret what happens around you. Dear hero, think well of the world, because it is a beautiful adventure, and it is all yours to enjoy. I wish you well, Captain. May the wind find your... I wish you well, Captain. May the wind fill your sails. May the waves wash against your hull and be kind to you. And may you find the most glorious treasures along the way. Everything you have heard and read is shared through the collective wisdom of many old captains who have set sail before you. It has simply been my honor and duty to pass on their knowledge for you to set sail and break free on your own. Some final words from a brave sailor, survivor, and hero. We need to stop asking about the meaning of life and instead think of ourselves as those who are being questioned by life, daily and hourly. Our answers must consist not in talk and meditation, but in right action and right conduct. Life ultimately means taking the responsibility to find the right answers to its problems and to fulfill the tasks which it constantly sets for each individual. Viktor Frankl. The meaning of life is in how you answer the questions you face every day, not in someone else's beliefs, actions, opinions, or thoughts. The meaning of life is in the day.